Greetings dear students. In this video we will learn C language and we start from the basics of C language, and in this first program we will see syntax of a C program and what are the various parts in a C program. Okay, let us start writing. And we start with the first line, that is hash include stdio dot h, which is the first line of every C program. Okay, so what is this? Std means standard and io means input output header file, which is required for input and output of the program. And then very next line is void then space main function. Again, this is the second line of every program. Our whole of the program is written as body of this main function between these two curly braces. Okay, I hope you are getting. Now whatever is written in this body is the main program. Okay, let us start with a simple print statement. So whenever we want to print something on the screen, so for that we make use printf. The syntax is we have braces, parenthesis, semicolon. What semicolon is? Semicolon is statement terminator. With this, the compiler is able to know that this statement ends here. Okay, now here we have double quotes. Now whatever we write here, like I live in Punjab. So this is a simple program. First of all, we save this by the shortcut Ctrl S. Then accordingly the software you are using, you can use online compilers in your mobile devices or even in your desktop or laptop, or you can download C compiler, which is freely available, and install on your laptops or desktops. Then you can run these programs. And there are two steps. Number one, compilation. Number two, execution. What is compilation? That compiler will check the syntax error, if any, and then convert this code into computer understandable form, that is binary. So after compilation, an executable file will be ready, and then we will execute that file and we will have the output on our screen. So let us first of all compile this, and here my command is F9 and there are no errors. So as you see on your screen, the output is I live in Punjab. So this line, the first line that you are that is visible to us, is the output that we have written in our main program, as you see. Okay, let us make it more presentable so that output can be highlighted on the screen. So for that we have many operators, like the first is this \n. What is the role of this \n? So this will make our output presentable. See, that new line means, so this will skip one line and take the output to next line. You see the effect of this. Again we have to save this, then again we have to compile this, and then the difference you can see that now we have one empty line, then we have our output. Okay, so even more things we can add, like we can add a tab here which will shift the statement to the left, to the right, and we have some space, empty space in the starting of the line, and even we have one line after as blank. Again we save this, let's compile and execute. And now I think this is more presentable form. We can easily see the output in our screen. So this is how we can play with the program. So my motive is that you start with a simple program, then keep on adding things to it. Okay, play with it. Whatever comes in your mind, just try it on your program. If it runs, then it's perfect. If it doesn't, then again go back to the previous position and try to see that what changes you have made and why there is some syntax problem or some execution problem is there. Okay, then work on it, look in your books, and I think you definitely get the solution for that. This is one method to learn a language. Okay, let us move further. Now during the program we need variables. Okay, the C language start with actually the definition of variables, constants and keywords. Constants that remain constant during execution, variables that can vary during execution, and keywords are the reserved words whose meaning cannot be changed. Now the very first line of our program is type declaration of variables. In this we will declare the type of variables and their names. For example, let us make a program to find total marks and percentage. Okay, now we have M1, M2, M3, M4 and total. Then we have another variable for percentage. So here we will try to see what we have done here. Here M1, M2, M3, M4 and total are the variable names which we declared as integers. And next we have another variable PER for percentage. We declared it as real variable by writing float in front of this. So here we want float space variable names semicolon, and if we have more than one variable we will separate them by commas. Okay, now next thing, input. Next very important thing is input data. Now there are two methods. One is by initialization. We can just initialize the variables in the program itself, and another way is through keyboard. So we will see both the methods. So first we will initialize these variables in the program. Let marks in first subject are 60, M2 is equal to 50, M3 is equal to 78 and M4 is equal to 65. So with this, what we have done, we have assigned 60 to M1. What this equal to means in a program? This is assignment operator. This assigns the right hand side value to the left hand side variable. Okay. So now we have assigned all the values. So how we find total? Total marks is equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4. So here M1, now what M1 means? M1 means 60. What M2 means? 50. So all the marks will be totaled here and then again stored in the variable TOT. Now to calculate percentage, TOT into 100 divided by 400. If marks are the subject marks, maximum marks are 100 for each subject. So as you see, we have total as well as percentage. Now it's time to print these values. Now total marks, total marks is equal to, like, okay, let me delete this line. So for that we write %d, this is format specifier, and then we have a new line here, and percentage is equal to %f. So for integers we have %d, and for reals we have %f. So what are the values that we want to print here? Total and percentage. So this is again a simple program, small program, to print total marks as well as percentage of the student. So first we save this, then we compile this, and then we will to see the output. So as you see, total marks 253 and percentage 60%. So you see, total marks are shifted towards right because we have a tab there, \t, but percentage starts from the first column of output stream, percentage. If we write \t there, then again this will be shifted or tilted towards right side. Okay, one more thing that we want to point out here is that, see, even we have taken percentage as float variable, but still the fractional part is truncated here. You see, when we divide 253 by 4, so this is not actually divisible by 4, so there should be something here after decimal. So why that is not here? Why that part is not here? Okay, let us try to correct that. So for this we will shift to another topic, that is arithmetic statements. So we have three types of statements: integer mod expressions, integer mod arithmetic statements, real arithmetic statements, and mixed arithmetic statements. If we have integer statements, answer is integer. If we have real statements, answer is real. If we have mixed statements, means some of the values are integers and some are reals, even then the answer is real. So that technique we will make use here. For that we just divide these zeros, okay, and what we will be write here, we will write 4.0. we just add convert this 4 into real. Then now this expression is mixed mod expression because total is integer but 4.0 is real. So answer, the output will be real here. Okay, you can see the effect. So again we will save this, then we will compile this, and next step, execute. So as you see on your screen, now we have total marks 253 and the percentage is 63.25. This 0.25, it is neglected actually in previous part, because integers, when we have all the integers in our expression, answer is an integer. The decimal part is truncated there. But when we try to save an integer value to a real variable, it will just add decimal 000. Okay, so but when we have mixed mod expression on the right hand side, then actual value will come out and that will be stored in the real variable. So that we can see here. Okay, I hope you got an idea that how we can declare variables, how we can initialize, and then we can process those variables, and then we print the output. Okay, let me add this tab key here also. Okay, let's convert this program into a journal program that we are going to enter marks through keyboard. For that, first we will have statement here, printf. So we will write enter marks in 4 subjects in new line. Okay, then how can we store those marks in these variables? For that we have scanf. Just have a look on the syntax. Scanf ended with semicolon, and we have double quotes. The number of variables we have, we make use the format string for that. As we are going to enter integer values, so we write %d, %d, %d and %d 4 times. Then we make use of this operator, ampersand operator or address operator. Okay, and we will write address operator M1, then again M2, M3, M4. So what is the role of this address operator? So the first value we will enter through keyboard will be stored at this address. So we will learn this in detail in our next videos in pointers actually. Okay, but here just you have to remember that the role of this statement is that whatever value, the first value will be stored at first address, second at second address, and third at third address, and fourth at fourth address. So we have inputs here, then we have total and percentage accordingly, then output will be displayed. Again, let's save this, then first compile this, and as you see on your screen, let's enter marks 56, 86, 75, 45. So we have 4 marks. Now when I press enter, output will be there. So as you see, total marks 262 and percentage is 65.5. So dear students, so I think all of you got an idea. Just I recommend that try these programs. If you want to really want to learn a language, you have to try this at your own. Again, the funda is start with a small running program, then just play with it, make changes, and just keep on learning new things like that.